Let's go over from the NFL to the association. Mid-season report is here. Ty, let's talk about your MVP, your best team, your worst team, most surprising thing within the NFL.
Let's just start with the MVP, okay?
MVP?
Guys, take it easy. Steph Curry with the shot, boy.
Oh.
Now, when Mark Jackson went out, we knew that this was a good team in Golden State, but, Steve Kerr is coming. They take it to it. I agree. Perhaps you could say Steve Kerr took it to another level, but again, maybe it's just another year of them being together. Let's not touch that topic, but I'm going to go with Stephen Curry. He's leading that team. They're doing good things out in the West.
I agree with you. I think Stephen Curry is the MVP right now, but someone that's coming up his heels, I think, is James Harden.
I don't see Harden as enough of a complete player, but I see what you're saying. How about your best team? I'm going to stick with Curry and the Warriors. My biggest piece of evidence for them, they're in the Western Conference, and look at their record. So I'm gonna stick there.
I definitely have to second that. Definitely
2 up, 2 down.
There you go. I definitely have to second that. The Warriors right now are on a torrid place, but just imagine this: you go through this regular season, you get the #1 seed out there in the West, you out here battling, and what's your reward? You played Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round of the playoffs. Something that could possibly happen if OKC gets into the first round.
Let's talk about the rest of the NBA. The top team, obviously so far, is the Golden State Warriors. These guys are killing it. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green has been playing miraculous this year. Steve Kerr has taken his team to another level. It's kind of hard to say Mark Jackson couldn't do the same thing, but you're looking at this team right now. They just look unstoppable, man. They've beaten teams by almost 11-point margin. In the West, it's like, come on now. These guys are for real. They're legit. The only thing you just got to worry about is, injuries. You got to keep people healthy throughout the rest of the season. And we'll see what the second half looks like because that West is going to get tough. MVP votes right now, Steph Curry. That's the guy I believe that's going to win the MVP this year. The guy that's been playing out of his mind. As far as the way he's been playing on defense, setting his teammates up for good shots. And, of course, he has the wettest jumper in the NBA right now. That's not to say he's going to win the three-point contest like I'm going to tell you about Marv. But, Steph Curry with the shot, boy, he's killing it right now.
For the three-point contest, I'm going to have to go with Steph Curry. I know I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but I like Steph Curry. Coming from a 50-point game, just a couple of games ago against Dallas, I think it's going to translate to another hot shooting moving forward, Ty. What about you?
All right, you want to rock the three-point Curry?
Yeah.
Great shooter. Goes without saying.
Exactly.
This man walks into the tunnel and shoots, and it's just swoosh, nothing but bottom of the net.
It just walks off.
There will be nothing but the bottom of the net will be busy this weekend.
No, they were supposed to upset the Warriors in the first round, Ty. Now
that's the other team that's very happy.
The Warriors are jumping up and down. Woo! No KD. That means we can let Russell go for 60, and they still might only put up 75 points as a team. So.
Speaking of what had happened was, I had picked the Thunder to win the NBA championship, so I think I reserve the right to withdraw my selection of them, and we're going to go with Golden State.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Steph Curry with the shot, boy.
Oh, wow.
Klay Thompson with the wrist, boy. Draymond. Iguodala. I see you, shit.
With about a couple weeks left in the season, and it's really interesting for us to kind of think about, whether or not which one of those teams are more compelling matchup for the Warriors. Obviously, in my mind, I think I will still go with Oklahoma City just because of the impact of Russell Westbrook and the threat of him going off for a 40, 10, and 11 type of game, getting his teammates involved, and really just dominating full force.
Getting his teammates involved.
I feel a little skeptical about the Pelicans just for the simple fact that I don't know about Drew Holiday and if he's coming back in time for them to actually have another type of person that can score on that team. Anthony Davis has been doing a lot, carrying the load for this team. But you see he's been getting nicked up a couple of times. I don't know if their shoulders going to come. People are going to be really physical in the playoffs. This is their first year. And I really just don't think that team is ready.
Westbrook and the Thunder, along with Durant, mind you, were in the finals a few years back, and they were young. So, Westbrook has more going for him. AD doesn't have to help. Would love to see him in the playoffs, but, he's just going to get beat down by Curry and the Warriors anyway. So, I think the Thunder will put up more of a battle.
You know, it doesn't really matter because whoever the Warriors play anyway, they're probably going to beat them in 4 or 5 games with Splash Brothers. But give me Anthony Davis. Let's go to our social media roast. Who's being put on blast real soon?
They should have never gave y'all internet. Social media roasting time. Now, this right here should be illegal.
But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's Steph Curry taking out ankles, ACLs, and lower extremities.
Yeah. Steph Curry with the shot. Steph Curry with the rock. Boy, not my tray. CP, no.
Steph Curry with the joints.
Yeah.
Good joints. Look at the joints right there.
Steph Curry just with everything, man. He taking out souls.
Fatality.
Man. Oh, that's messed up.
And our favorite person returns once again.
Lance
I see what
with another
happened.
cameo.
Lance with another cameo, blowing people out the way and
You
everything,
say
man.
Chris Paul, man. Just give it up.
Oh, I like this. Especially, you know, people sleep on You Got Served, which was an amazing, amazing movie.
No, it
He's
wasn't.
about to
But
do the double kick, though. Don't it look like it?
He's going to do something. He's about to go down. CP.
for real.
Sonny sold us out.
Sonny sold us out. But CP going against my main dude Jax over here
this bogus
with the
right here.
sweep, with the low kick, with the low kick. You know how everybody likes to get the low kick for the victory.
Yep. Kick him in the balls or something like that, right? Wait. I don't understand how people make these, though, man. This is just crazy to me.
I told you they should never gave him internet. They fast out there. This
Oh, man, this is the best one, right?
this is
here.
my favorite. This is perfect.
For real.
Oh, snap.
Like Chris Paul doing the cha-cha.
Y'all see how Chris Paul came out the night after with like 41 points trying to make us forget.
Yep.
But you
Next
have to
night,
give it to
but-
him, though. But for him to get embarrassed like
But
that,
you can't forget this, brother.
Damage is done.
the damage is done. But Damian Lillard had to reap the consequences of that, though.
Don't forget Boozer. Went through Boozer's legs.
Oh, yeah, he did go to Bruiser's legs.
Oh, look at this flick of the wrist. Yeah, look at that flick of the wrist.
That's so
Go ahead,
bogus.
CP.
That's so bogus.
Oh, damn.
That's so bogus. Hit him with, and he did it better than Odell Beckham. You talked about Steph Curry. I know MVP voting is pretty much over and done with. I know it's coming around the corner, but Ty, are you still convinced that Steph Curry is still your MVP moving forward?
Yes,
Okay,
hands down.
cut and dry.
Plays in the West. Swept an 8th seed. You do what a number 1 seed is supposed to do. ATL, shout it.
Message.
You're playing a tougher division, tougher conference, and you know you're prolific on offense. You're the best team on defense. I mean, you are leading the best team in the league. You deserve to be the MVP.
Yeah, ever since Steph made Chris Paul fall, he kind of just inserted his MVP voting right there. That was one of his signature plays right there. I definitely agree with you on that. Steph Curry, I think James Harden has kind of, I don't want to say tailed off a little bit, but I feel like, you know, playoffs have started. He's kind of done so, tailed off just a tad bit. I think Steph Curry has done enough for him to be MVP. Number 1 team out there in the West.
They talk
Drain
about
down threes.
They
left
talk
and right.
about Heisman moments in college. That
Chris
shot
Paul
to-
movement.
not
That
the-
shot over Anthony Davis.
Yes, that was a moment where that pretty much signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah, he's getting into that upper echelon of, is he probably one of the greatest shooters ever? Now, he has a couple of hurdles to go over. Personally, I think it's Reggie. But
Larry Bird.
But Steph is he's climbing those charts, man. He's climbing those charts, and he's not taking any prisoners. That boy jump shot is smooth, too. Kawhi Leonard winning Defensive Player of the Year. I think that award should have went to Mr. DeAndre Jordan out for the Clippers. I mean, when you're averaging over 15 rebounds, when you're protecting the paint, you throwing anything that comes near it, I don't see how DeAndre Jordan didn't win it, or somebody like Draymond Green, too, as well. You know, Kawhi has missed some time, and he's just now becoming Kawhi that he thought he was going. Yeah, we thought he was going to be now, you know, locking people up and blocking shots and different things of that nature. But I don't know. I can't see him Defensive Player of the Year this year. I can't see it.
I hear you. Now, you know I love me some Lob City.
Lob City.
Said Chris Paul was going to be MVP going into the season before he was crucified by Steph Curry. And I got love for DeAndre Jordan. But the second piece you said, Draymond Green, for them to score that many points that they do in Golden State and be the #1 team on defense, Mr. Green, former Spartan, go Green, has a lot to do with that. Not to mention the games. Draymond's only missed 3 games. He's played 79 games this season. And Kawhi's missed 18 games. Now, for those who don't know, this is how it's worked out. First place votes is 5 points there. Second and third place votes, 3 and 3. Now, Draymond got 45 first place votes to Kawhi's 37.
Exactly. You got a lot of first place votes.
But where Kawhi gained ground on him was 41 second place votes to Draymond's 25, and then 25 third place votes to Draymond's 17. So that's how he caught him. But based on what Draymond Green has done for his team, for them to go from a really good team to, I don't want to say elite. We'll put them sub-elite.
Almost epic, yeah. But you got to remember that.
I think he was host.
Steve Kerr made the switch to start Draymond Green over David Lee. And when David Lee has got healthy, he still has started Draymond Green. David Lee is unheard of right now. Nobody knows. There's a MIA from David Lee. He's on the back of a milk carton right now. We don't know where he is. He's a candidate to be traded to keep Draymond Green there in Golden State because he is a free agent after this year. So I would give him most improved player. That's what I like to see.
Well, most improved player is going to Jimmy Butler. But defensive player, you can trust him at the elbow. He can shoot the 3. He plays defense. 51 more blocks than Kawhi Leonard. Perhaps it calls into question needing to reevaluate the voting process. Someone who doesn't need help with his shot. Oh, Steph Curry with the shot, boy.
Why doesn't he just please cut off this unibrow? This unibrow is probably the worst thing that ever happened to man.
Do you think he'd be as hot as he is now, Anthony Davis, without?
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
His play speaks for himself.
Yes.
We talked about that Game 3 shot.
I mean, it speaks for itself. Clutch, break, and accelerator. And, well, Steph Curry is clutch.
Cooking. Period. And I felt the same way, especially when you're down by 20. It's one of those games where, hey, time out, I got to use the bathroom. And you come back, and everything just spirals out of control. And you're like, what happened while I was gone?
Yeah, you put the settings down from all Madden to Pro or All Star to Pro. No, you just put it down, and see.
Relevant.
It's very, very relevant.
Relevant.
Because Steph Curry was so disrespectful in New Orleans at that. I'm surprised he got out of there. The NOLA, they don't play down there in NOLA, homie.
Hey, I bet there's a bunch of little Steph Curry dolls floating around there.
For real.
Hey, let's transition. A lot of people say we don't talk about hockey enough. So let's talk.
Let's go up north to Oakland, to Golden State, where Steph Curry reigns in his first MVP award.
Well deserved. Yes. Yeah. You know what? Yes.
First of all, do you think the media got it right? Second of all, were you surprised by the margin that he won by?
Yes and no.
Oh, wow, really?
I was not surprised. James Harden had a case, came in second place. Steph Curry, 100 first place votes out of 130. So it really wasn't up for debate. But he's been amazing. He's been so good. Perhaps they're saying it's more of a team thing, but he's been so good that he doesn't need to play a number of fourth quarters throughout the season. His shooting percentage is still through the roof, so it shrinks his sample size. And he's just lights out. James Harden's a scorer, but does he play defense as well, Steph Curry? Not necessarily. And
defense is optional.
It's optional for him. And he carried his team without Dwight Howard, but, man, Steph Curry owned the whole season. It was a season of Steph Curry. He deserved it.
That's what I was going to say. Steph Curry has been consistent all season. He showed up every game that he needed to, and he's broke. He set NBA records. He's broken a few personal records this season. I mean, this has been his year, and he's so humble. I think, all of that, he is just so humble, and he's just the dream, like the ideal
The
athlete.
humbleness balances the disrespectfulness of his crossovers.
Because he's like, I didn't mean to do that to you. Like,
and with Steph Curry winning, Express is having all sorts of deals for everybody nowadays. Woo, thank you, Steph Curry, because Express has been texting me all day about all the deals they have going on. But like you said, Ty, he won 100 out of 130 first place votes. So it's pretty much a landslide, a landslide victory. I guess listen to his speech and listen to humble beginnings, like you said, Capetra. It's very, very interesting to see that he wanted to go to Duke. Mm-hmm. He wanted to go to Virginia Tech. He wanted to go to Kansas. But none of those schools wanted him. Mm-hmm. He had to go to Davidson, a big fish in a small pond. And what did he end up doing? Pretty much put Davidson on his back and just continue to reign supreme. That NCAA tournament run where he was just blowing through teams.
Cats were like, who is this cat, Steph Curry? Who is this Wildcat?
And even to the point where the Knicks was one pick away from drafting Steph Curry. And the Timberwolves had 2 opportunities to draft him, but
whoopsie.
Exactly. They end up going with Flynn and Rubio, but he ended up going out to Golden State where he's with another Splash brother, with Mr. Thompson.
Sounds like he kind of put Golden State on the map for like people who not really following basketball beforehand. Like you weren't thinking about Golden State as a contender.
You would Baron Davis. Then he kind of had that small transition, but now that you see Super Steph and everything, it's kind of like
it's becoming a household name.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I think from ESPN, he's the #1 athlete for millennials, for the 20-year-olds right now. More than LeBron, more than Kobe, more than Duncan.
Babyface assassin.
Man, definitely so. Definitely a babyface assassin about that. So.
You talked about their defense. You talked about the Splash Brothers. When Steph Curry's hitting them threes, and this whole team can shoot the ball well. A lot of them, even a lot of their bigs, can stretch the floor a bit. Mm-hmm. It's contagious. When you see that ball go into the hoop, and if we get in trouble, if we're down 20 plus to the Pelicans in a game, hey, Steph's got our back. And so when you see him hit this shot, hey, why can't I hit these shots? And so I think his whole team feeds off of him, and that's another reason why he deserves to be MVP, because
definitely
this team, they've gotten better from last year, but it's really the improvement in Steph's game that's gotten them to the next level.
Definitely.
Exactly. Do you think they could take another level and win the NBA championship this year?
Ooh.
I still have my reservations about a jump shooting team winning the championship. Mm-hmm. But like I said last week, if there was ever a jump shooting team that could win the championship game,
it would be this
team
one.
right here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, but I think there's a little guard in LA that might want to seek a little revenge for the crossover that he got put on.
Yeah.
Poetic justice.
By the name of Christopher Paul. And I think that team, if they can meet in the Western Conference Finals, I think that would be, it's going to be an all-out war. It could be another bloodbath.
That's definitely going to be the one to watch.
We do have the battle of #1 versus #2 in the West. We have the beer versus chef. So, cooking it up, stirring it up.
It's going to be a lot of cooking.
It's going to be a lot. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of cooking. So, who do you guys have? Western Conference Finals, Rockets, Warriors.
Warriors.
Simple enough.
Again, I chose the Thunder at the onset of the season. When KD hurt himself, I jumped off. And whose bandwagon did I join, Marvin?
Steph Curry.
With the shot, boy. They swept the season series 4-0, won by 15 points on average. And so I think they're going to do it again. It's worth mentioning all 4 of these teams jacked up the most threes. But who's the most prolific three-point shooting team? That will be the squad with the Splash Brothers, regardless of the basketball analysts and what Houston's got going on with it. Take a step back if you're at the three-point, or take it to the hole. I'm going with Warriors. Long story short, Warriors.
Capetra?
I already said Warriors.
Quick,
because I was real bold last week when I said I was going to see the Warriors in the finals.
Too bold.
And I need to see this all the way through. So I'm counting on Steph Curry.
I don't blame you. I think we were all a little bit bold on that. But there's something that Ty has continuously said throughout the show. why should we pick a jump shooting team? But if there was ever a time to pick a jump shooting team, it's definitely this Warriors team right now. With Steph, with Clay, with Harrison Barnes. If there was ever a time to pick them, I'm picking the Warriors. And
Draymond Green can get out there too.
And personally, I don't even think this is going to be a close series, truth be told. The Rockets was giving up over 100 points a game to the Clippers and was playing any defense. Now imagine playing defense against the number 1 rated offense within the NBA, which will be the Warriors, and getting Steph Curry all those open looks.
And we just cannot forget how consistent the Warriors have been.
All
that
season.
alone, that's the only team I really see in the finals that's giving me consistency the whole way through.
True, very true.
They reigned supreme from the onset of the season. MVP, Steph Curry, we said absolutely. It was the season of Steph Curry. You mentioned how great they are on offense, great on defense as well. This is a great defensive team, and that's what made them from good to great this year. And so I love it. As for the Rockets, I mean, we'll see if they can ride this wave, but the Clippers weren't playing defense. It got to a point where they were allowing at least 30 points a quarter. And when you go up against a team with Draymond Green, who had his qualms with the defensive player of the year being Kawhi Leonard, he's not having it. They were gifted with Tony Allen missing the series to help them move on, but Golden State plays, they're not going to let you get to the hole 24/7.
Yeah, definitely so. So I definitely see Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. I think that's going to be the biggest X factor right there. Mm-hmm. When you got Jason Terry trying to hold Steph Curry, yeah, good luck with that.
I thought it was bad for Chris Paul.
Yeah. And, James Harden, his defense is optional for James Harden sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Matador.
Yeah, Matador. Sometimes, Steve, who you got in the Western Conference Finals, though?
Short and sweet. Warriors. Steph Curry. I mean, it should be quick, but we'll see. Let's go Warriors. Back to you guys.
Wow. Like you said, short and sweet, but biggest X factor in the series on both teams, Ty?
Two of the hottest three-point shooting squads in the league, but the best one has the Splash Brothers on them and has the MVP.
Yeah. I would say the same. For each team, it should be these MVP players. It should be.
It should be. I think two people that I want to look for that's playing very well in the playoffs, one being Josh Smith. Yeah, he has had a resurgence ever since coming over, when Detroit was just like, well, you can just leave. We'll pay you still. Just don't come back to Detroit anytime soon. One being Josh Smith. And the second person, I want to see how Steve's twin, Andre Iguodala, plays in this series too, because I think he could be a big X factor in defending James Harden.
I like the point with Jay Smooth. They shipped him off in December. We were like, hey, we thought Smith was a cancer in locker rooms, but hey, he elevated them and he put them on his back, as Harden missed the whole fourth quarter of Game 6 until it was time to start shooting free throws.
Yeah, let's not even start with that.
Then I want to see D12, Dwight Howard. We discussed how they like to jack up the threes. The Rockets kind of remind me of that Dwight Howard Orlando Magic's team that went to the finals. What do? They threw it up. They had him down low, crashing the boards. And so we'll see how he stacks up against Golden State's big men.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's start off in the association. The NBA Finals are here. LeBron, he went home to Cleveland and he has the Cavs back in the finals. And then on the West side of things, we have the face of the new, young, hip, emerging generation, Steph Curry and the Warriors in the finals. Two rookie head coaches. Let's talk about that.
Ladies first.
All right, so who do I have winning it all?
Oh, you're just going to go there right away, huh?
We just going right to it?
No, that's cool, man.
Straight to the point.
Well, I actually don't know because I'm one of those people. I didn't actually expect LeBron to get all the way here on his first season back in Cleveland. I'm impressed. I've been a Steph Curry fan the whole way through, as you all know. But honestly, as much as I love Steph Curry, I could see the Cavs pulling it away. LeBron has a lot to prove, and he seems to work under pressure. he seems to really, bring it. And so I think it's going to be a close series, but I think the Cavs are going to take it all.
That's one vote for the city of Cleveland. Ty, will you make it two?
You discuss him operating differently under pressure. A lot different from the LeBron of old who used to crumble under pressure and was thus dubbed a choke artist.
Yes.
Now, I jumped on the bandwagon, Marv. I jumped on the Warrior bandwagon. I was all in for Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and this efficient offense, but deceptive defense. They play good defense. I think at the end of the day, obviously, LeBron, he's the biggest X factor for the Cavs. Everyone's falling apart. They were favored to win it all, but it's different. Kyrie's hurt. Granted, with the rest, he'll come back and play. Klay Thompson able to play. I'm getting over that concussion from their closeout game.
From the super knee by Trevor Ariza.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's like a Triple H knee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you take the wily vet who literally put the team on his back and improved the play of everyone around them? Or do you take the young guns, their first time here, although they do have Steve's alter ego and I think a better coach and a more balanced all-around team with depth, and they're jump shooters? Maybe it's me living in the moment. Maybe it's because LeBron knocked my Bulls out of the playoffs yet again. But I think those injuries will hold them back, and I'm going to go with Golden State in 7.
Okay.
You know what was interesting is Ty has said this repeatedly over and over and over and over again. Normally, jump shooting teams do not win in the NBA playoffs. But if there was ever a time to pick a jump shooting team, it will be the Splash Brothers of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. That's why I think this series is going to go in 5 games. I don't even think it's going to even go
a gentleman's
6.
sweep.
I think it's going to be a very gentleman's sweep, and thus you have on the gentleman's hat over there. Just like in the conference finals, I predicted that the Warriors was going to take care of the Rockets with ease. I predicted that the Cavs was going to take care of the Hawks with ease, which they did. I think that the game plan for this matchup, let LeBron get his and shut everybody else down. Because Kyrie Irving, granted, he's had the rest, but he even said that it's going to take a miracle for him to be 100%. And with that being said, who are you going to have to put on Steph Curry? Now, you can put Dellavedova on him if you want to, but that boy has in the gym range. You know what in the gym range is?
That means if you in a gym,
He would.
Exactly.
you could be in a tunnel.
Exactly. And we've seen him hit infamous shots from the tunnel.
He's got oracle range, Marv. He's got oracle range. Anywhere in the Oracle Center, he doesn't even hit the rim.
And an X factor. You know, when we talk about this series, we talk about this matchup. The biggest X factor, I have to agree with you. I definitely think it's Steve Doublegagger, which is Andre Iguodala, of course, and also Tristan Thompson. With him being a presence on the offensive and defensive rebounds, who's going to keep him off the glass? Is it going to be Draymond? Will they put Harrison Barnes on him or put Draymond on LeBron? Is it going to be Maurice Space that's coming back from injury? I mean, there's between those two people, I think it's going to cause the conclusion of the series.
You know, and it's funny because I agree that Golden State at this point is a better put together team in comparison to the Cavs. But it's like LeBron we're talking about. You know, it's not just any player where it's like these, like it doesn't matter. It matters, but it's LeBron. Like I wouldn't underestimate him.
I understand. We all know it's LeBron.
I know.
think for sure if he does it, you cannot say anything else about LeBron. He went back to Cleveland and he got them.
That's a man with a chip on his shoulder.
Exactly.
He has a lot to prove.
Especially if Tristan Thompson can get them those extra possessions. Hey, in the Bulls series,
J.R.
maybe one
Smith?
Hawks game, those extra possessions is what puts them over.
If J.R. Smith can perform,
Speaking of J.R.
Speaking of that, let's turn to our orange and blue competitor over there. Shed his block. Shed, what's going on?
J.R. Smith, that guy. Anyway, let's talk about it's the playoffs. It's the finals. My opinion, you spoke about Kyrie Irving not being 100%. This is the grand game, the grand finale. If I'm a player, my mindset is like, I don't care about injuries. I don't care about anything else. I'm going to give it 110%, and I'm just going to show up. Obviously, a lot of Cavs players are not experienced enough to be in the finals, except for LeBron James, James Jones, Mike Miller, some of his supporting cast, Sean Marion. But I don't think at this point I don't think that's going to be a huge factor. I mean, obviously you got LeBron James, who's 5 times in a row been to the NBA Finals. We talked about that. You know, this guy has really just brought Cleveland from the worst to the first, back to the finals in 1 year. I mean, the impact that this guy has is huge. But Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors have been killing it this year. These guys, like we said, they're a jump shooting team, but if we're going to pick a jump shooting team, this is the perfect one to pick. They have the intangibles because not only do they, shoot the ball well on offense, they play great defense. Like, they play great team defense. Andrew Bogut's down there being the anchor, but you have Draymond Green as a potential player, defensive player of the year, who's been really just going out there getting everything done. And I really look at him as the X factor in this matchup because he's going to be guarding LeBron James. Obviously, the game plan is probably going to be not to limit LeBron, just let him go out there. But you just got to make sure that J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, and all these other role players are not getting off on you. But I still think if Draymond can keep LeBron busy on the offensive end, it's going to open up the floor for, Steph Curry. It's going to open up the floor for Klay Thompson, and the ball is going to keep running. But in my estimation, I'm going with Team Light Skin at the end of the day.
Sweet.
We're going to say Golden State Warriors is going to win it in 6 games. That's my opinion. But back to you guys.